Hi, blessed authors. It is your girl, Tahira. I'm just going to get live on Instagram and we'll get started. All right. I am live on Instagram and on YouTube. Welcome to day 11 of the 30-day live challenge. I am your girl, Tahira. I am a Christian author, teacher, and self-publishing consultant. I am also the owner of Tahira Gift Consulting, where I help you to write, self-publish, and market your faith-based books for impact and income. And in today's live, I'm going to be going over some editing tips, and I'm going to be giving you guys my strategy that I use to save on the cost of editing. And so this is going to be a good one. I do want to say that I hope everyone has been enjoying their weekend so far. Your girl, I was able to rest today, and just super excited though to be able to jump right in. So if you did not know, I have a book called 6-Step Blueprint, How to Write a Book in 30 Days. And this book also helps you to self-publish and market your book. And I'm going to be coming out of my book with some of these tips. And so actually in the 6 steps to write a book in 30 days, this is step 4, where I talk about, the rough draft and the editing process. And so actually, some of these tips are coming out of page 84. So if you do not have the book, I highly recommend that you grab this because I'm going to be going kind of fast, but the resources will be in this book. If you are on YouTube, I'll make sure that the link is in the video description. And if you are on Instagram, you can just go to the link tree and hit author page, and that will take you to my Amazon page so you can get your copy. And I do have this available on Kindle as well as paperback and hardcover. All right, you guys, you ready to dive in? Let's dive into some editing tips. So first I want to say that when I first got started, as a self-published author back in 2015, editing used to be my most expensive costs, because I used to pay for the free cover version, which I would recommend you do that now, because back then in CreateSpace it was very, very generic. But I didn't spend any money on the cover because I just got the free version. And I didn't know about paying a lot of money for ISBN. Like, I got all that free through Amazon. But what I did know, and I've always known, is make sure that you get your book professionally edited. So I used to pay anywhere, you guys, from $700 to $800 just to get my books professionally edited. But now your girl has learned a strategy, which I'm going to share with you, to cut that cost in half, or at least save anywhere from $300 to $400 on my editing. And so I'm really excited to share with you guys this strategy. And if you want to try it out so you can save some money, then you can just give your girl send some prayers and some praises my way. Let people know that I gave you this strategy. All right, you guys ready? Hi, Everyday Hunter. Thanks for joining. All right, so first editing tip that I want to recommend is I recommend that you have at least 3 people to edit your book before you self-publish it. And that one person out of the 3 can be yourself if you feel confident that you have some good grammar and writing skills. But even beyond yourself, get someone that that is really good with academics, somebody who is, can give you an honest opinion of your manuscript, can, tell you about your book, if they like the description, the way that it flows, the structure, if it makes sense, and coming from a reader's perspective. You need somebody who is outside of you, right? At least 2 other people to give you feedback, okay? So that's the first editing tip. And also, this can include, which I recommend, a professional editor, right? If you can get 2 professional editors, even better, right? But at least, one of them needs to be a professional, like they have credentials behind their name. This is what they do, not just somebody who say they're good at it, but somebody who actually does this, for a living. All right. So other than the 3 people, another editing tip is you definitely want to make sure that before you send it to a professional editor, that you also use whatever free tools that you can use, and even paid tools. And so some of the more popular ones, if you're using Google Docs, You can use theirs. It's pretty generic, but it will at least help you with like spell check. You can use Grammarly. Grammarly is a very popular one. They have a free version, and also they will allow you to add that into Google Docs, into your browser. So some people like Grammarly, but my favorite is Microsoft Editor. So what I do is, and I do use the paid version because it's a part of 365. And right now, with AI being very popular, Microsoft Editor is an AI, right? And they are adding more tools to help you to edit your work. And so what I do is I will go and do my best work, what I feel that I can do. Now, I am pretty confident. I'm a teacher, and English is my strong point, has always been, but I still will go and use the Microsoft Editor to review what I think I've done. And you can also add Microsoft Editor to your browser. They will not only just review your manuscripts, but they'll review your blog. If you are a blogger, if you are just doing a simple email, like, you can use Microsoft Editor for anything. Okay, so I do have a blog and a video where I kind of did a demo. So if you are on YouTube, I'll make sure to link that blog to the video description after I go live. So if you're catching the replay, it should already be checked below for resources, because then you can kind of check out the tools and why I like it, and it gives you a score. So with Microsoft Editor, the thing I like about it is it will tell you, based off its suggestions, it goes through your work and it gives you a score up to 100%. 100% means there's no errors based off of this AI tool. But this is the thing. If you can get up to 90%, you're good to go. It does not have to be perfect. For some of their suggestions are just like formal, like they may just say stuff like, I don't like the way you worded that. Instead of saying I'm, change it to I am. And some things you could just totally disregard. So if you get to at least 90%, even 85% on the score, for me, that has been enough for me to say, okay, that's good enough to take to the professional editor. So after I have, one, proofed it myself, two, I have certain people that I trust that will give me, feedback that I know that are good in academia, that they can look at my writing and give me an honest feedback. Then three, I also use Microsoft Editor, right? After doing all of that, then I send it to the final proofreader. And I want to let you guys know who I use, right? And it's also in this book. Like, you guys can go to page, it's 85, and I give you, other than Fiverr and Upwork, I give you exactly who you can go to, which is proofreadingpal.com. That is who I will be using even for this book that I'm currently writing. But here is the strategy, okay? This is how you're going to save money. And I'm telling you guys that I can usually budget anywhere from like $500 and get my book totally professionally edited. Why? Because one, I'm doing a lot of groundwork before I send it to the proofreaders, right? So I want it to be hardly no errors, right? Like, I'm just needing double I's and professionals. And usually when they get my work, they be like, wow, this is an easy job. But that's okay, because I'll pay for the extra eyeballs, because I want to make sure that my book is professionally edited, okay? Even if it's not that much, they don't find that many errors. And that's okay for me. I still want to pay. But it's not going to be $700-800 like I used to do back in 2018 when I didn't know no better. So this is the strategy, okay? You guys are ready? So the first thing you're going to do, if you're going through Proofreading Pal, proofreadingpal.com, okay? They have a service where you can, one, get a free quote. But what I do is I send in just one chapter first, just to kind of see how I like their work. And they have two people that will review your work. So I'm also trying to see if I like the people that actually, proofread my work, so I can request that person back. But also, I don't send the whole manuscript. Hear me out. I send one chapter, and one chapter can be anything like 2,000 words. They do charge by word, right? So I'm not sending the whole manuscript of like 10,000-15,000 words, because that will cost more and that will take them more time to get it back. But if you send one chapter, right, just to see if you like their work, how they, respond back to you, their customer service, if you like the particular person, especially for me, because I am a faith-based author. So I'm very honest and tell them I'm a Christian writer. This is for a certain market. You got to be somebody that's okay with reading scriptures and, things like that, right? So I'm very upfront about the type of person I need to proofread my book, my manuscript. So once you send in that, you're already in the queue. And this is the thing. They will send you not only coupons, but they incentivize you, right? Because they want you to keep coming back. And what I always do is, this is another strategy. They have a quick turnaround. They could do 24 hours. They could do 3 days. They can do, I think it's 4 days, up to even 7 days, a whole week. Now, of course, if you don't need it back, the shorter, the more the price is going to be. The longer you can wait, then the cost is cut down. So you can go from anywhere from like, okay, it'll cost you $100 if you need it back in, let's say, 24 hours versus $50 if you can wait a week, right? So you're saving money the longer you can wait. I always pick the 7-day turnaround, but hear me out. It doesn't always take 7 days. If you have a short word, like something like 2,000 words, a professional editor can get that done in their sleep. They read for a living. So a lot of times, even though I'm picking that price, this is a strategy, you guys, hear me out. I'm picking that price because it's the cheapest, but I know that I'm going to get my manuscript back sooner, right? And I'm not sending the whole manuscript. I'm sending it by chapters. So once I get back that first manuscript, it's quicker for me to edit. And then this is another pro tip that I do. So I'll take that chapter, and it could be any chapter in your book that you want to give as a kind of like a freebie to let people know, like, hey, my book is coming out, but if you would like to do a preview of the book, opt into my email list, right? Because we'll be talking about that next week when we get into marketing the book. You should be growing your email list. So people who opt in to read that chapter, and this chapter is professionally edited, right? You've approved it. You're putting it out there in the world to see who's interested, what target market says, yes, I want to read your chapter, right? And hopefully you've been kind of telling people, hey, this is coming, this is coming, this is coming. So by the time you drop that chapter, people are excited to read, right? And you're giving them a preview, a free, opportunity. So all you gotta do is they give you their email exchange to read that free chapter. So and that's a pro tip, okay? Now that's what I've done in the past, and it's really worked for me. And I recommend that you do this. You take that one proofread chapter and you start putting it out there and helping to market your book and get the word out, okay? So while that book is, growing your email list and you're putting it out there, now you want to start breaking up your book and sending in, if you like the work, you like the people, right, that they assign. Now you go back and you do the same thing over and over again. But this is what I do. This is my strategy. So I know for me, I'm going to have certain sections and things in my book that are repetitive. For instance, like in my book, I have prayers. My book ends with prayers. So instead of just taking the whole chapter, what I'll do is I'll take maybe 7 prayers and I'll send that in. That may be only like, total 2,000 words, right? But I'm getting it done in a quick turnaround, and I'm only paying usually less than $100 to get these prayers professionally edited. Now, a lot of times, and this has happened to me in the past because I've done my own editing, because I've done the Microsoft editor, right, and had the AI look over it. I've literally had my proofreaders look at it and like, there's not much work. There's not much work for us to do, so they could get it back in 24 hours. But I like that feedback because I'm getting more eyeballs on it. I'm getting it professionally edited. I like to cross my I's and dot my T's and make sure that it's good to go. And so I take those prayers and then I just put it in those sections that it go into the chapter. So I know I'm going kind of fast, but this is a strategy that I've used. It works for me. If you want your own strategy, you can book a session, a one-on-one session, depending on how many words your book is. Now, I recommend like a 10 to 15,000 word manuscript. I've never ever sent a 30,000 manuscript book. That would be more expensive. But this strategy works if you have a 10 to 15,000 word book and you're breaking up your sections and your chapters. Okay. So the point I'm trying to make is you do not need to send your whole manuscript to be proofread. If you do that, it can cost more and it take longer for them to get it back. And let me tell you also why. This is the last tip that I'm going to give you guys. Another reason why you want to sit it in chapters and break up your book is because when you get it back, you're going to have to review, and that takes time. When I was first, new to my self-publishing and I didn't really know what I was doing, we're talking about 2016, 2017, 2018. When I would get back my whole manuscript, I would be so overwhelmed by all of the red lines and the editing and the decision making. And when they would say, well, I don't like the way you said this. And then I would go back and I would second guess myself and say, well, do I really need to say it that way? And I would get lost in their comments and their feedbacks, right? The professional proofreaders. And so it actually would take me up to 3 weeks just to edit what the proofreader comments, what they gave me back. And so now I don't do that because I understand that process overwhelms me. And so what I have done is I have said, okay, I feel confident about chapter 3. I'm gonna sit in chapter 3. And when they get it back to me, usually within 3 to 4 or 5 days, because I know it's usually between 2,000 and 2,500 words, and most professional editors can get that back to you in their sleep, right? They read more than that, right? And then I'm able to take a step back a day or two, right? Which I recommend you do. Take some time to not think about your book, right? Because, you have your eyes on it. You got to step away. And then I'm fresh when I see their comments. And I'm not sitting up there trying to do all 10 to 15,000 manuscripts and be exhausted. I can just focus on each chapter at a time. So now I'm just focusing on chapter 3. Or, I'm focused on chapter 5. And I have been able to get things done, not in weeks, but in days. This strategy works for me. And so I hope that you guys enjoyed these editing tips. I gave you my strategy to save on the cost. Doing this has literally saved me $300 to $400. I used to, if you're new and you're just joining, I used to spend the most bulk of my money when self-publishing on editing. Editing was my biggest expense. And I did not learn, this strategy came out of trial and error. So you're talking to somebody who has over 20 books that I've self-published. I started off in 2015 with children's books. I think actually the illustrator cost me the most with those 2 books. But all of my other books, it was the editing and getting it professionally edited. I told you some suggestions of make sure you have at least 3 people that have to check your work. One of those people can be you. And one of those people need to be a professional that this is what they do for a living. I also talked about using tools. My favorite is Microsoft Editor, and I will drop a link on video description. If you are on YouTube, I'll make sure you have the link because I did a whole blog demo on Microsoft Editor if you're interested in that. And then I told you my strategy is to first and foremost test out, send 1 chapter, and then from there put that chapter out. Start getting your email list going, right? We'll talk about that. We're going to start next week talking about marketing. And then also 1 chapter at a time or 1 section at a time. Or you can group things. Like if you're going to have prayers, or you're going to have, a whole bunch of, scriptures. Or if you want to just, send in something that is like similar things, but maybe questions and answers. And you just plug and play where it needs to go in the book. But you know that it's been professionally edited. These things work to not only save you money, but not to be overwhelmed by sitting there and just, what I used to do in the beginning. I used to be so overwhelmed with, okay, now I got to edit this whole manuscript. I don't do that anymore. I edit in sections and by chapters. So I hope you guys enjoyed today's live. I'm going to open it up to Q&A because I do see that people have joined. Thank you for joining. Once again, I am Tahira. I am a Christian author, teacher, and self-publishing consultant. And today we talked about some editing tips and my strategy to save on editing costs. So are there any questions I guess we'll end with Q&A. Any questions? I see people on YouTube and Instagram. Thank you so much for joining me live. Thank you so much. Or if you catch me on the replay, any questions? And I'll wait because I know it takes a while to type. But I do want to let you guys know while I'm waiting to see if you guys have any questions, if you are looking to get some one-on-one feedback with your book this summer, I do have a special that I'm running. If you book this month a one-on-one consultation, you'll get $100 off coupon that you can use toward any of my product or services. And just to let you guys know, I do have a bunch of bundles right now. The Write Your Book bundle. I have a a self-publishing prayer journal bundle for people who want to get done a prayer journal quickly. I have a success training for authors. Those bundles are all $100 value. So basically, that coupon will give you one of those bundles for free. And then I have my Market Your Book bundle, which is $2.99, but then that will give you $100 off. So you save on that bundle. And so, yes, if you're interested, if you're on Instagram, you can go to the link in my bio, and then you can see on the link tree, go down and it says book a consultation, and then I will be happy to meet with you one-on-one for your individual needs. So I don't see any questions. All right, you guys. Well, that's all I have for you. Oh, wait, can I share this video on my Twitter? Yes, you may. Thank you so much, Talking Media. Thank you for sharing. Thank you guys for thinking of me on YouTube. Oh, and I always forget to say subscribe. Thank you so much. Yes, if you want to share these editing tips, feel free. And then I'll be back tomorrow. You guys, tomorrow we start not only day 12 of the 30-day life challenge, but we are going to get into marketing. So if you are someone who maybe you have a book out and it's not selling, this week is really going to support you. Or if you're just a first-time author and you just want to know what does it take to market my book so that I will have consistent sales, like this book gives me month after month. I get consistent royalties since it launched back in October of 2021. So I'm going to be sharing with you guys the exact strategies that I have used. And then even I may share some of my upcoming strategies for my new book that is launching. If you didn't know, July 7th, I'm currently writing. It is done. It's rough, but I'm getting ready to actually do what I just said to you guys. I'm going to say one chapter and start sending it out to the proofreader after I do exactly what I know how to do, which is edit my own work first. And then my newest book, Freedom Today. Oh, I didn't tell you guys, it's called 7 Keys to Activate More Joy, Walk in Purpose, and Have Inner Peace in Your Life, comes out on July 7th. And so I'll be sharing some of my, maybe we'll see. We'll see. But just stay tuned. All next week, we're going to be talking about marketing your book. And so thank you so much for joining. Until next time, live well, love well, and be well. All right. See you later, guys.